This is my Air65 Freestyle, and today we're converting it to the Air65 Champion Edition. You see, in my last video, the wires going into one of the motors managed to break loose, causing it to completely stop working. So instead of just buying the same spec motors to replace it, I got the 30,000 kV ones to replace all the motors.
Metal screws, PEEK screws, and then a little new motors.
Oh, and I also got a much smaller soldering iron tip. The one I had was way too big.
That is a tiny whoop right there.
First step was unsolder the old motors, and almost immediately I bridged two pads together. Not a great start.
There we go. Finally got one off. Yes, finally, all the motors are off. Oh, let's just deposit them over here. These solder pads are now really messy. I've separated the camera. Oh, they're all connectors. These are our new motors, check them out. They're obviously really small, but they're powerful. Man, that'd be so nice if this was just plug and play.
Anyway, I cut all the connectors off and prepared to tin the wires.
There we go, they're all cut.
Expose about 1 millimeter of wire by pinching off the silicone with your fingernails. Apply flux to the exposed cable ends. Finally, tin the wire by applying heat and solder to keep all the individual wires together. My new soldering tip was having trouble transferring enough heat, so I used a bigger one to try to remove some solder from the board, which was partially successful.
Okay, what were we doing?
I fluxed and tinned the motor pads on the flight controller, then started soldering the motors themselves to the board. And this was kinda stressful. It took me 45 minutes to solder all 4 motors to the flight controller.
All the motors are soldered. That's great.
Alright, let's get this octopus looking thing onto the frame. A little twist to the motor wires so they don't get chopped by the props, and we can screw them in. So instead of metal screws like what were on here before, these 30,000 kV motors come with PEEK screws. Apparently they can save up to 0.4 of a gram on a build compared to metal screws, while being stronger and more durable than nylon screws. Yeah, I'm definitely using them. I screwed all the motors, then attached the canopy and the camera back on. Now, even though this board was previously set up and therefore has my rates, switches and whatever else, there's still 2 important things that I need to do in beta flight. First of which is set the motor spin direction. Because all the motors are new, I have to tell beta flight to either reverse the direction or leave it as it is for each motor. The second thing is download the CLI dump file for the Air65 Champion from BetaFPV's website and paste it into the CLI tab. This contains the PID tune, VTX tables, etc. that is specific to this drone. Oh, and check that your motors still spin the right way afterwards, because sometimes the CLI dump overwrites that as well. Finally, I stuck some GemFam 1219S props on, and the DIY Air65 Champion was ready to rip. Just check out how good this build looks. For real though, those solder joints are beautiful. Unfortunately, my kitchen scales are only accurate to the gram, so I can't see if I saved any weight.
I think I need a new name for this. If you have any name suggestions, let me know in the comments. And to charge my 1S batteries, I finally got myself a Flyfly Whoopstore V3. I haven't used it much, but already it's so much nicer than the little BetaFPV one. Just use USB and plug it in and charge batteries. And there you go. Using a LiPo, we're charging 4 batteries all at once. Alright, well, way too dark to actually see anything right now, so I'll see you in the morning. It's morning time. Before I fly, there is one little difference from the actual Air65 Champion, and that is that the Champion Edition uses a 5-in-1 board. With this, I'm using a 4-in-1 board. So the difference with that is that the 5-in-1 has an ELRS receiver built into the board. There's a little antenna, but with this, there's an external receiver that sits on top of the board. Apparently the 4-in-1 with the receiver is actually a little bit lighter than the 5-in-1. My scales are only accurate to like a gram, so I can't confirm anything, but this just might be the lightest Air65 Champion that has ever flown. Maybe. Alright, I haven't properly flown this yet. I'm so excited. Let's do this. Air65 Champion outside. Okay. Dude, why is my signal so bad? R8. Oh. I think it's on 25 milliwatt. No wonder. It's actually pretty quick. Oops, that was not in the plan. Dude, it's actually fast. Ooh. Dude, I keep crashing. Okay, that was a good first flight. Our battery life is terrible, but that's expected. Okay, now it's on diversity. Maybe that'll be better. Yeah, it's better already. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, never mind. Not really. Oh, I'm in the garden. Where is it? Oh, there. I think we've added a few milligrams of grass. Not sure. More crashes. Yeah, the higher camera angle is a little bit tricky. I will say that. Maybe I should put it back down to 30 degrees instead of whatever this is. Dude, this thing's actually fast. Like, it can move. It's a screamer. And you can actually bail out of things.
The next day, I was doing some indoor flights off camera, which was when disaster struck. The extra power was really fun, but I did crash a lot, which is normal for me. Plus, I was still getting used to the extra throttle and higher camera angle. Ooh, that was a hard shunt. Thanks sis. Now keep in mind that the electronics on this tiny whip are not new, and they've already had heaps of impacts over the last few months. And so I guess that explains what you're about to see happen.
Unfortunately, the flight controller is dead. However, the ESC is not dead. Let me explain. So when I plug it in, listen to this.
So that's slightly different from the regular startup sound. It's missing the normal beeps from the flight controller, and there's no flashing LEDs at all. It won't connect to the ELRX receiver, and there is no video signal coming out of the video transmitter. So ESC is still making its startup sound, but everything else is dead. No flashing lights, no anything. Such a pity because it didn't even have a name yet. You can still put your naming suggestions because even the deceased need names, right? To repair this, I'd have to get a new board. It's like 80 Australian dollars, so the 5-in-1 or 4-in-1 doesn't matter which one. They're both about the same price, so I guess the video ends now. If you want to watch another video, YouTube thinks you might want to watch this, so see if it's any good. Check it out. I don't know. See ya. Bye. Is that a good ending to a video?